I'll pass it right back to Greg.
Hi, I'm Greg Vail. I was in the debate in the last local option sales tax. I'm not going to focus on the last one so much. They've covered a lot of that, and so I'm kind of going to agree with them. What I want to talk about really in this situation is flood protection. They are, submitting a plan for flood protection that they want paid for by the taxpayer people. And I want the people to understand that on the west side of Cedar Rapids, there is no flood protection plan created. There are no heights for walls, there are no materials for it to be built out, and if there is no plan, then the estimated cost is imaginary. Now this cost that they have, this is imaginary, is approximately for the west side between $140 to $160 million. And so I'm going to give you a prophecy about how I think this is going to work. The city of Cedar Rapids getting this vote will collect $140 million for the west side of Cedar Rapids for flood protection. Since there is no plan already, they then will create one that will be substantially less than the amount they had previously calculated. Meaning if they create a flood protection program that only costs $30 million, they then have $110 million left over to do whatever they want. And according to the new laws of 423B of the Iowa Code, it says that cities are allowed to use any remaining money that has already completed the project for any urban renewal development that they want. So in this case, I project they would take that $110 million and they would use it, animal shelters, maybe public works, I mean, you name it. And if you wonder if this is true, stop and ask yourself about the last vote. The last vote was about flood protection, it was about streets, and it was about property tax relief. Yet when the vote did not pass, the first thing that you heard on the news was, oh no, now we're going to have to go back to the ground transportation center because the local option sales tax did not pass. Now what on that ballot said anything about any ground transportation center? And so the evidence is all there. And if you want to know who's involved about this, it's like they say, it's, city council members, city staff, and these people are being coordinated and run by other groups all revolved around the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce is pushing these people and other people to push these votes to steal our money to spend it the way they want. If they want these projects, as far as I'm concerned, they need to pay for them themselves, and so I want people to vote no.
Thank you. This is a question for Greg. Earlier you had mentioned that there is no plan for the west side, or maybe that was Lisa. It was you, Greg. Yeah. All of us. If the money's not going to go there, where is it going to go?
Well, it was like I kind of represented before. The ballot language will show that they're going to try to create flood protection for the west side. And in order to be completing their ballot language, they're going to have to come up with some kind of west side kind of flood protection thing. But I guarantee at this point, it's not going to be the one and the fancy and the whatever and well protected they claim. They're going to go the cheapest route possible, and then they're going to use the rest of the money any way they want. And I would also like to add, there is another plan. There is a plan out there called the Citizens Plan that actually has numbers. It's half the cost of what the West Side Flood Protection Plan that they have is, and it details it. It details why it's better. It covers all the areas that the city did not cover related to the storm sewer backup, the sanitary sewer backup. Their plan does not consider anything about seepage from the water underground, and it's just not cost effective. Where we have a plan designed that costs about half of that, which is about $80 million, which potentially, if it was petitioned to the Army Corps of Engineers, could meet the 1-to-1 ratio and have 65% of it paid for by the Army Corps of Engineers, and then the citizens wouldn't have to feel like they'd have to pay for it through local option sales tax. Right? Now, if people would like to review this plan is on cedarrapidsactivist.com,
.wordpress.com.
.wordpress.com, and it's under the Citizens Plan. So there is a competing plan out there. It's not all there is. It all comes down to the same thing for me. I originally think that local option sales tax was brought in as an idea through the communities, and it originally had good intention. The idea of the community being willing to put in to help the shortfalls of their city or help their schools grow a little more, or some of these kind of things, are generally good ideas that the people want to go for, right? And so the problems aren't necessarily always what the tax is about. The problems have become the local option sales tax itself. At this point, all across the country, and you can look everywhere you go. I got parents that live in little towns. I got people I know that live in big cities. They all say the same thing. The local option sales tax has become the local option scam. People vote for it. They think they're voting on one thing. The people that get the money turn around and they spend it on completely different things. And this is going on everywhere, and this has been created because policy and laws have allowed the cities to manipulate and use this money in ways that they want. So the local option sales tax would be good. I think it could be brought back around sometime in the future. Maybe if they called it something different and they put parameters and guidelines on it that actually gave oversight, actually gave transparency, and actually forced the people to stick to the ballot language with the money. And then if there was any extra money, it should only be allowed to be transferred to the fund for the next tax vote that it's supposed to go for, not to be used for whatever you want.